very disappointed in myself, not for the act. I think there are millions and billions of people of consenting age that engage in activities, but to have your most intimate detail on the audio to be heard, I'm disappointed in myself.
You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get you an old out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup.
It started with a slip, one that Shannon Sharpe probably wishes the internet would forget. During what seemed like a regular Instagram Live, a woman's voice was heard in the background, saying things that made viewers freeze. Not just because it was unexpected, but because it sounded way too intimate for a technical mistake. Sharpe, caught completely off guard, blamed hackers at first.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me live my life.
Let me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I do.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
Dang.
When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah.
Because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's gonna say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. Thought I was going to be scared. Yes, I'm talking. And I know an old gal, she'd be good to you. Her name is Elladora.
But then he backtracked, calling it an embarrassing accident. Thing is, the backpedal only made it worse. Fans weren't buying it. The tone, the timing, the way he scrambled to explain. It didn't sit right. People started digging, wondering if this was really just a clumsy moment or the first crack in something much bigger.
I'm embarrassed. Someone that is extremely private, and to have one of your most intimate details, the audio heard for the entire world to hear. I'm embarrassed for a number of reasons. People count on Shannon, Shay Shay Media, Club Shay Shay Nightcap, ESPN. There are a lot of people that count on Shannon to be professional at all times, and I always try to be professional at all times. Even when I'm behind closed doors, I still try to remain a level of professional, although I'm in the privacy of my own home. And I'm very disappointed in myself, not for the act. I think there are millions and billions of people of consenting age that engage in activities, but to have your most intimate detail on the audio to be heard, I'm disappointed in myself. I let a lot of people down. My kids, I reached out to them. I called them. I called my sister. My friends, obviously my friends reached out. But guys, this was not staged, engaged in an activity. I did not know IG Live. I've never been on IG Live. I've never turned IG Live on. So I don't know how it works. And so all of a sudden my other phone is going off and people are calling me FaceTime that I've never talked to a day in my life on FaceTime. And it didn't, I'm like, why are y'all calling me FaceTime? And after a while, Jamie Fritz, who's been my longtime marketing guy, he finally got through to me and he says, Shannon, you on IG Live. I'm like, doing what? You know, I'm like, what am I on IG Live for? I ain't hitting no IG Live button. He says, they can hear. I'm like, so now, Ocho, you know, I say ask for patience. He said they can hear. And now I'm starting to get agitated again because you called me and say I'm on IG Live when I know I didn't click myself on IG Live. And he said they can hear me. I said, hear me doing what? He said, it sounds like you were having sex. Man, my heart sank. It dropped.
Long before this blew up, Monique had already seen it coming. During her sit-down on Club Shay Shay, she didn't mince words. She looked Shannon dead in the eye and told him, "Watch who you entertain," especially these younger women who may not have the same motives or understanding. At the time, it felt like a strong opinion, maybe even old school. But now, it sounds like a warning that ages like prophecy. Monique has always been raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic. People might not always agree with her, but she rarely speaks without purpose. And the fact that she gave that warning before the accusations surfaced makes it different. It's not just commentary anymore, it's foreshadowing. Then came the name that shifted everything, Michelle Evans. She wasn't just a stranger with a wild claim. She says she was involved with Shannon Sharpe for nearly a decade, a turbulent off and on relationship that ended in chaos. According to Michelle, it wasn't just emotional damage. She claims it turned physical, that there were moments when arguments escalate, when control and power blurred into something darker. She described manipulation, isolation, and ultimately, assault. And just like that, the conversation around Sharpe stopped being about leaked audio and started being about patterns. Michelle's story gave weight to what had previously been whispers. She wasn't just speaking up, she was laying out a timeline. If Michelle's story cracked the surface, Jane Doe's blew the whole thing wide open. She came forward with claims that weren't just disturbing, they were explosive. According to her, a sexual encounter with Sharpe took a dark turn when he ignored her protests. What followed wasn't just emotional trauma, it was a legal bombshell. She says Sharpe offered her $10 million to stay silent, not to settle, not to apologize, just to disappear.
Shannon Sharpe is going to be Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm just a patsy. I'm not saying that he didn't violate this young woman, but damn, with this type of lawyering, boy, this ain't Johnny Cochran. This ain't, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit. This is somebody coming into the courtroom like, dog, he did it, and we tried to pay $10 million to get this wench to shut up.
Did you and Shannon offer to settle these accusations?
Yes, there was a settlement offer made by Mr. Sharpe. I will only generally say to you that it was in the tens of millions of dollars demanded by the plaintiff in return for her silence. That's under any definition commonly understood. That is blackmail. And Mr. Sharpe was willing to pay an amount in the tens of millions of dollars, but no final agreement could be reached. And we thought we were still in the middle of discussions when, without warning, the mediator, who's a retired judge, ourselves as lawyers, without any prior warning, still thinking that we were close to a final agreement, the plaintiff and her lawyer from Houston filed a case in Texas.
Her attorney read messages that, if real, make the situation impossible to ignore. And while some questioned her anonymity, others pointed out the obvious. When that much money is involved, silence isn't peace, it's protection. And in this case, it might be a failed one. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get messier, Sharpe's team made a move that backfired hard. In what critics are calling a clear smear attempt, they allegedly leaked that Jane Doe was an OnlyFans content creator, as if that somehow erased her story or made her less believable. The internet wasn't having it. People saw right through it, an attempt to weaponize her past and distract from the accusations. But instead of discrediting her, it sparked a bigger conversation. Why is sex work still being used to shame women into silence? And why, in 2025, is that still the playbook? The move said more about Sharpe's camp than it did about Jane Doe, and for many, it confirmed exactly what they feared. While the internet debated, Monique doubled down. She didn't flinch, she didn't walk anything back. In fact, she lit the fire even higher. In a new live stream, she called out Sharpe by name, accusing him of living recklessly and thinking fame would shield him forever. She made it clear, she wasn't speaking out to be petty. She was speaking out because she'd seen this pattern before. Monique positioned herself not as a gossip, but as a whistleblower, someone who's been watching Hollywood protect its favorites while victims get pushed into silence. Her words weren't vague. They cut deep. And for a lot of people, it felt like she was saying what no one else had the courage to say. But Monique didn't stop with the accusations. She went further, pulling back the curtain on a topic that's long been whispered about, but rarely addressed head-on. Shannon Sharpe's dating preferences. She called out his well-known pattern of exclusively dating white women, not to shame him for personal choices, but to question the image he's projecting, especially while building a career speaking on issues affecting the Black community. That hit a nerve.
I didn't tweet you, but I tweeted my followers. I said, listen, what y'all think about this God-fearing woman who has herself aligned in the right places being unionized with Unc? Because she would be perfect for you and what you have going on. Not only is she walking the path of righteousness, but she has the vision that can open the door where you trying to get to. Now, what you think about that?
I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. I'm looking for a sinner. Send me Miss Nasty B. What her name was? The one that you said with the umbrella?
Miss Nasty.
Yeah, I'm looking for. I don't want nobody walking straight and narrow.
Oh, come on.
Nah.
So,
I want a sinner.
Listen, I thought we as
that's what I'm looking for.
We always talk about toxic relationships or toxic environments, and now you have a perfect opportunity. You have the perfect opportunity to get you somebody that is aligned with your core values in the way you was raised by your grandma. You was raised in the church, right? You was raised in the church?
Yeah.
Well, this is the God-fearing woman. This is exactly what grandma would want. This is what I want for you. This is what I want for you, man. I'm telling you, this will prepare you into a world you've never been before. Think about before you do nightcap with Uncle Ocho, me, you, and Yvonne. We have prayer right before we do each show.
Suddenly, the conversation wasn't just about legal claims. It was about identity, loyalty, and double standards. Is it fair to question who someone dates? Maybe not. But when someone profits off a certain culture and consistently chooses outside of it, people start asking hard questions. And in Sharpe's case, the timing of that scrutiny couldn't have been worse. This wasn't just a scandal, it was a breaking point. What started as a leaked moment turned into a full-blown reckoning, not just for Shannon Sharpe, but for the entire media system that props up celebrity power. For years, Sharpe's charm, success, and media presence made him feel untouchable. But now the layers are peeling back. With every leaked text, every resurfaced accusation, every ignored red flag, people are asking, how long has this been happening? And who looked the other way? Monique's decision to speak out, knowing the backlash she could face, shifted the tone of this story from gossip to cultural moment. It's no longer about one man's alleged mistakes. It's about the cost of silence, the price of fame, and the question no one wants to ask out loud. Who's really being protected when the cameras are off? If you want more unfiltered deep dives that don't hold back, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're just getting started.